Parliament turned into a political battleground today, and Mélanie Joly led the charge. Pierre Poilievre came out swinging, slamming the government over Stellantis' move to shift part of its auto production to Trump's America. But what followed was pure control. Joly didn't just defend the record, she broke down Poilievre's attacks one by one, revealing what critics called desperation and political double standards. By the end, the chamber was clear on one thing. When Canadian jobs are on the line, Mélanie Joly doesn't back down.
Tragically, 3,000 auto workers in Brampton learned that the Prime Minister had sold them out and failed them in negotiations with the United States of America. To make matters worse, this Liberal government and this Liberal finance minister forked over $15 billion, tax dollars, to the company that is moving their jobs south. So surely the government would have negotiated a jobs guarantee for every single Canadian Stellantis employee. Will they release that guarantee and the entire contract so Canadians know where their dollars went?
The Honourable Minister of Industry.
Mr. Speaker, of course, what Stellantis announced for the Brampton plant last week was completely unacceptable. And Stellantis has made solemn commitments to this government and to their workers, and they need to honor their commitments. And that's why we will hold them to account. While my colleagues are just right now talking, we already know that in committee we said that we would agree to the production of documents. Thank you.
Poilievre's line of attack was expected, accusing Mélanie Joly of abandoning Canadian workers and allowing jobs to shift south. But Joly was fully prepared. With measured clarity, she reminded the House that every agreement Canada signs carries legal weight, and Stellantis will be held to every promise made to Canadian auto workers. Her tone was direct, her message unmistakable. Canada won't be pushed around by corporate boardrooms or Trump-era trade tactics. In moments, she flipped the script. The opposition fell silent as Joly stood firm for Canadian industry and those who built it.
Mr. Speaker, surely Stellantis would not be announcing that it is moving a 3,000-worker plant to the United States of America if this government had negotiated job guarantees in that contract for $15 billion. To put this into perspective, $15 billion is $1,000 for every single family in Canada that was supposed to create jobs. So simple yes or no question. Is there an ironclad guarantee of every single worker's job here in Canada in exchange for that $15 billion handout?
The Honourable Minister of Industry.
Let me be extremely clear. We will fight for these jobs because Canadian auto workers are the best auto workers in the world. And we will make sure that Stellantis face all consequences, including legal ones. That being said, an hour ago, I met here in Ottawa with the head of Canadian Stellantis, with the head of Unifor, and also with the Minister of Economic Development of Ontario. We're one strong team, Canada, and we will make sure that these jobs stay in Brampton.
Poilievre launched a second push, this time attempting to trap Mélanie Joly into admitting that Trump's tariffs and U.S. incentives were outmaneuvering Canada. But Joly didn't flinch. Instead, she delivered what's already being described as her Canada First moment, declaring that Ottawa will always defend domestic industry and protect Canadian jobs. "We'll fight for every Canadian worker," she said, because when global corporations look at North America, they shouldn't see a soft target. They should see Canada standing strong. It was bold, patriotic, and it dismantled Poilievre's narrative. This wasn't just about Stellantis, it was about something bigger. Trump's America is tightening its grip on North American manufacturing, while voices in Ottawa continue to echo Washington's line. But Joly drew a clear line. Canada plays by its own rules. With a subtle reminder, she pointed out that while Trump's commerce team boasts of bringing jobs home, Canada is already expanding markets in Europe, Asia, and beyond. If the U.S. wants confrontation, Canada's answer will be strategy, not surrender.
Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, still no answer. It was the finance minister, the present-day finance minister, who is in charge of a $500 billion forthcoming Liberal budget that was the one who signed this deal. And amazingly, barely 2 years after he signed it and forked over 15 billion Canadian tax dollars, the company receiving it is moving the jobs to the United States of America. That minister claims she might take legal action. She can't do that unless there's actually a job guarantee. So will she tell us, yes or no, does every Canadian Stellantis worker have a job guarantee?
The Honourable Minister of Industry.
Mr. Speaker, when this government negotiates contracts, they're good ones. And so my colleague will have the chance to see these contracts. That being said, we will make sure to put full pressure on the company. These jobs need to stay in Brampton. These jobs need to stay in Canada. And ultimately, the future of the auto sector is bright, and we'll continue to fight for it.
Bravo.
By the time Poilievre made one last attempt, claiming Canadians deserved better, Mélanie Joly had already delivered the knockout. The government benches erupted. This wasn't just politics. It was a moment of reckoning. A minister standing tall, refusing to let Canada be dismissed or dictated to. Joly wasn't just defending policy. She was defending pride. And today made one thing unmistakably clear. The Carney government isn't playing defense anymore. It's making moves. In EVs, batteries, green innovation. And it's doing so on Canada's terms. She didn't blink at Trump's America. She didn't bend to the opposition. She delivered facts with fire and left Poilievre speechless. The Stellantis battle is still unfolding. But one truth stood out today. Joly's fight is Canada's fight, and this time the world is watching. If you believe Canada deserves a stronger voice, one that won't back down, then hit like, smash subscribe, and stay with Canada Newsline. Because this story, it's just getting started.